Alright, guys, I just want to say that you should not approve of this situation. You absolutely should not. Now, for people who don't like Trump, I imagine this is cathartic, but ultimately this would not really solve anything. So, supposedly, the media is saying the shooter is Thomas Matthew Crooks. Now, it says he's a registered Republican, I believe, but on other social media, it says he's a socialist Democrat or something, or like something of a socialist in some way. And so there's all this mixed information out there, and we don't even really get to really know what's actually happening. So this might actually be the true radicalizing moment for Trump right now. And Trump actually handled this pretty cleanly. Like, he put his fist in the air and everything. He did his, what he usually does. If Biden got shot, I'm pretty sure he would be cowering. He wouldn't really have a moment to, celebrate. Now, I don't think Trump was celebrating, but with the fist in the air, it was like a subtle I'll be back moment. So, there's all over, I've looked a little bit right now, all over the media right now, it's like people justifying this, like Destiny, because he says, well, Republicans were out there trying to kill, Nancy Pelosi and, other Democrats at that time, and justified, Nancy Pelosi's husband getting harassed. As much as I hate Nancy Pelosi, it's not a moment to celebrate, because in our moment of division and ultimately mass gun violence, this just is like the easiest torch to fucking light, or the easiest match to light. So this is not something we should celebrate, because this won't end good for anyone. Like, anyone could be shot at this point, like, simply for being at a rally. Now, it's mostly citizens that will pay. I don't think politicians will be going out there flinging guns. This is a matter of citizen unrest. So, this is not necessarily good, as cathartic it would be if Trump actually did die from this. But, we see how everybody lived under Biden. We see how people lived under Trump. Ultimately, it would just be somebody filling in Trump's place at that point. All right, I'm gonna watch Kyle's take on this now.
All right, guys. I know I'm a little late to this, but I turned on the camera as quick as I possibly could. We were out somewhere, and it took us like an hour and a half to get home, but I'm home now, and man, giant news just came out. I gotta admit, even though it's been about maybe 2 hours since this happened, I'm still in shock, bro. I'm still in shock.
Yo, I like Kyle's new look as of late. He almost looks like this, Backstreet Boy, but you can take him more seriously.
I couldn't believe it when it happened, and then you're slowly gathering the facts. But as you all know by now, Trump was shot at. So there was a rally in Pennsylvania, and he was given his stump speech, and then this happened right here. Let me make it bigger. Listen to this.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Secret Service was pretty good to act on that, obviously, but they did sort of let him, poke his head out and, do the fist in the air thing. He could have easily been killed by some other person who was in the crowd. So, I don't know. The initial attack, obviously, spot on for the Secret Service.
Now, by the way, I don't want to, bury the other lead here, but he's fine. There was some blood coming down from his ear. It looks like maybe it grazed his ear, but he's fine. He went to the hospital, and they were already like, I mean, you're good. It looks like it just grazed your ear, but we'll get to more on this in a second. But it looks like the shooter is down, so they got the shooter, and then also one rally goer, I think.
Yeah, the shooter was down immediately, and I think they were saying or they were talking about it like it wasn't a person or something. like it's down or something. I don't know.
Was killed, and another one is in critical condition. So here, let me play it for you again. I gathered as much as I could, and I'm trying to keep this segment as factual as humanly possible, right? But I mean, this is yet again. I'm tired of saying this. I'm sick of living through historic moments.
Dude, it's hard to keep this factual when the media like euphemizes what they want and cares about what they want. Like when it comes to the Gaza situation, sometimes they'll say like some terrible event, but they'll say like mass carnage to like 5 Americans dead. Now, don't get me wrong, Americans dead, anyone dead is bad, but like they'll use small language for like the magnitude that is actually in reality happening in Gaza.
I'm so sick of living through. Can't we just have some smooth, regular ass, nothing shit going on? I feel like it's one insane moment after another, one historic moment after another. So here we go again. Watch.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
So you hear the shots, then he grabs his ear. He goes to the ground. I think they're trained to go to the ground, and then the Secret Service all comes in and they go over the top of him. By the way, you know, my understanding, and maybe I was wrong, I assumed that at all these rallies, whether it's Biden doing one or Trump doing one, they have like metal detectors, and when you come in, they make sure that you're not armed or anything like that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. But, you know, Secret Service, as soon as they heard the shots, they really jumped into action. And like I said, the shooter has apparently been killed. All right, we'll watch it again. Then there's.
So I honestly feel like I said this again, Secret Service was spot on, but like, don't you guys feel like he easily could have been shot after poking his head out all those many times? Like,
I got a lot more to show you.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Like, they were also talking about the ruse.
Grabs his ear and goes down. By the way, at that moment, people are probably thinking like, yo, did he just get a headshot? Like, was he just murdered because it hit him in the brain? Like, that's probably in the moment what people were thinking. By the time I heard the news, we already kind of knew that it was just, it grazed his ear, which, by the way, Jesus fucking Christ, that's like inches from just game, set, match, right? So
I was having this debate with my husband whether or not that they missed on purpose or they were trying to aim for the head. Now, I really feel like aiming for the head is pretty much impossible. Like, but you know, this person knew he probably was going to die and probably just wanted to send a warning shot or some type of message in the form of violence in this way. Like, this person knew there was a potential to possibly miss, you know, so I think it was more of a statement. So I don't know. I don't think it matters whether or not it was supposed to be a kill shot. This person wasn't like an official like technician or agent, you know, so to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it was just some random schlub. So, anyways.
All right, one more time, and then I got to show you the rest of this stuff, too. Watch this.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
That's a lot of shots, bro. That's a lot of shots. I heard a lot of shots. The screams are blood-curdling. Jesus.
Yeah, the screams are pretty crazy.
So right now they're still just covering him. I'm surprised the people behind him didn't like run away, but they're covering him right now. The Secret Service.
I love how when it pans out, there's all this coordination between like the center and then the other bodyguards that are like surrounding the people that are helping Trump with the stretcher, and then you got the dudes with the guns just looking around.
You heard them say, I don't know if you caught that, they said shooters down. Listen again.
Oh.
Shooters down, shooters down.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
Yeah, like an armed SWAT guy here too, it looks like, or maybe Pennsylvania local police department. Did he say they let me get my shoes? Is that what Trump said? Did his shoes come off?
Trump would be petty enough to go after his shoes or something stupid like that. You know, what if his doctor asks him to, like, go off his McDonald's diet? Is that possible? Do you think that Trump can live without his McDonald's diet?
Get my shoes. Hold up, your head is bloody. So we're gonna move to country.
Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
Watch out.
Watch this. Watch. Look at that.
He easily could have died in that moment, but you knew Trump had the posture. He has the energy. He's always had, like, this drive. You know, he was always on the campaign trail, so, you know, getting shot doesn't stop him, I guess.
You see the blood on his ear. He put his hand up defiantly. God damn, bro. Alright, so look. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Look at that.
History will definitely remember this,
Oh God, one of
for
the Chapo
better or
guys
worse.
said, I know you shouldn't even be
Whether
thinking
this
of
was the
in
radicalizing
context
moment or
of
not.
electoral politics right now. But one of the Chapo guys was like, if he puts this
When it
picture
comes
next
to the
that video
fascist
of Biden
rhetoric, of
explaining
course.
how I don't have to go to bed at 8 p.m. most nights.
What?
Bro. All right, look, we got another one. This is a slightly different one, but goddamn. Look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. All right. Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldfinger tells me Trump was grazed by gunfire but is safe. An audience member was killed and the shooter is dead. Another person is in serious condition. This is from a staff writer at the Washington Post. So, again, it's relatively legit. Usually in the moment when things like this happen, it's really, really hard to gather facts that you know are ironclad facts because there's going to be a lot of stuff around.
So, I could have gone on Twitter, but I really heard Twitter is just a fucking hellscape at this point. Now, I've wanted to poke my head in there, but I don't know if I could find what I want. Like, everything's such a distraction. It's terrible. There's so much drama.
Going around, that's not true, that later we find out, right? So again, I'm trying to keep this as factual as humanly possible. Obviously, it's very, very difficult in the moment to have things that are like, you know, we can hang your hat on this point, right? But this is relatively, I would take this one to the bank. This one seems relatively certain. Law enforcement official briefed on Butler shooting tells me the suspect is down yet again. Further verification that the person who did the shooting has been killed. Just spoke on the phone to Ambassador Kip Tom, who was sitting in the front row at the Trump rally. He told me he believes there were two shooters, saying shots at President Trump came from different directions. He also saw others get hit. Okay, so, look.
So, I haven't heard this before. This is pretty crazy. But, I mean, it would make sense, you know.
On this one, Katie Pavlich is not a trustworthy source, okay?
Oh.
And she's saying, I talked to this person at the rally who said this. This one is not in any way, shape, or form something you could take to the bank. Everything else I've seen so far to this point seems to indicate there was that one shooter. By the way, more on that in a moment. We maybe already have video of him down, the shooter. So again, hold on that. I'm going to tell you when things are not totally verified and certified as I walk you through this, okay? I'll tell you the things I think are for sure, and I'll tell you the things that I'm not so sure, right? This one, I'm not so sure, but I just wanted to show you that there is some speculation that maybe there was more than one shooter. Okay. So this is Trump's motorcade was speeding away after the shooting. I like how they say destination unknown. Gee, where do you think he's going? He just got shot in the fucking ear. Real tough one to figure out. What's he going to, Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
Fucking
Go to
moron,
McDonald's.
Jesus Christ.
He would go to McDonald's after that. He totally would. Come on, guys. Comment in the chat.
Yeah, so obviously this was hospital, right?
Jokes
Obviously
aside, this is obviously terrible.
now
It's just,
again-
I'm just saying.
Don't take this one to the bank, but this is floating around. Allegedly, the dead body of Trump's attempted assassin here. Watch this.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy down.
Right there.
I think they hit him because the guy he looks dead.
So again, one more time, zooming in, top of a roof.
Kind of looks like he's you know, using a sniper rifle and is in the position looking through the scope a little bit. Now, I could be wrong. He could be on his back. It does sort of look like his feet are in the air, but that's...
Crouch down.
I see a position to be on a sniper rifle, maybe.
Because the guy he looks dead.
I said I think they hit him. The guy looks dead. So
Yeah.
right here. And then we have... I actually haven't seen this one yet. This
Dude's
guy
probably
says he saw
dead.
someone bear crawling on a roof with a rifle minutes before shooting started. Claims he tried to alert security. This BBC interview with a guy outside the security perimeter claims he saw the shooter before he fires.
Yes, I hear now that I've kept hearing lately that when this happened, roofs were an issue now. Like, they were going to stop having it, like, be like where there are things towering over the president where people could just, you know, be waiting for the president to be shot. Man, so much crazy paranoia they gotta install now. Trump is really gonna only make this worse. You know, even before the shooting, Trump was already going to win, but now he's only getting a sympathy vote at this point.
This, so let's do it.
Someone who was here, you weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw and what.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us the Brickles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're gonna walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know, but we noticed a guy crawling. Bear crawling out the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, oh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why did they not pull him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from...
Alright, I'm sorry, but Secret Service probably isn't just gonna trust some random dude pointing. Like, they have a job to do. Now, I guess he could have been, like, a little louder if he was going to say something, but honestly, I think this is a 50-50 situation. Like, you can't expect the trained officers to look away from their post. Now, this does sort of seem stupid at the same time. Like, you could have just looked really quick, and then boom, you would have seen the guy.
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Did they see
binoculars?
Did they see it?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't...
He was saying Secret Service blew the head off of the guy who shot at Trump. That's what he's saying. I thought for a second he was talking about Trump's head got blown off.
Oh.
Watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to...
That defiant, fist in the air thing? Jesus Christ, bro.
Was it defiant?
They crawled up on the roof.
I just think it was a sign of his energy, his go-getter energy. Like, I don't know if there was anything to defy there besides the shooter. I mean, everybody was on his side there.
He was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. No, I mean, it was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it.
No, sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing now to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof.
So if everything this guy is saying is right, then actually what I was saying before about how Secret Service did a good job jumping right at Trump as soon as, you heard the shots and he grabbed his ear. I mean, they were up there with it.
Okay, so if they're just supposed to listen to anyone just in case it could be a threat, then yeah, I guess the Secret Service failed to actually do their due diligence and listen to people who were just trying to ask for help. So, in that case, it makes sense. But in another case, I see like, people not wanting to look away from their post, but, oh my god. The way this dude is explaining it really does sound like incompetence, I guess.
Within 10 or 15 seconds. If what this guy's saying is right, then actually, no credit to Secret Service, no credit to the police who were supposed to be guarding this event, because it seems like he was trying to point homie out for a hot minute, and they weren't doing anything. They weren't reacting to the attempted communication, which is sort of devastating.
Yes, we're right there by that tree. We're outside the security building. But my question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not at every building here?
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Damn, homie's going in on the Secret Service.
I agree with that.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
That's pretty
she was right in
true.
front of me. She kept going back and forth right in front of me. Yes.
Tell us about her.
I mean, nice horse, nice lady running with a flag. Seemed very, patriotic.
But what's the significance of her?
No, he asked me if I saw a horse.
All right, well, listen, I'm sorry.
So it might come out that there was more Secret Service and shit, like, later after this comes out. But if this dude is, like, being truthful, then, yeah, Secret Service failed to do their duty in numbers as well. I mean, Trump is pretty much known for burning every bridge around him, and pretty much treats everybody with garbage. So it's possible that just he's being treated with neglect a little bit, but at the same time, like, they still did the initial get down,
You had to witness that. It was a terrible thing.
Okay, Jesus Christ. All right. And then finally, this is my first time watching this one too. An emergency room doctor I spoke with tried to save someone's life in the crowd. Okay, here we go.
That's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot.
He said, I thought it was firecrackers to begin with.
So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around and was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood. And he had burned that up. Oh, no. So I got him. The helicopter over to get him.
Damn.
So I got people there really helpful.
Was there only one person shot that you saw?
CPR.
This dude's just explaining the story kind of relatively calmly. I don't know, maybe there's a vibe of fear in there, but he sounds relatively clear and concise while just covered in blood. This is fucking nuts.
One person. This includes you guys. We need to evacuate everybody.
Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. All this is so crazy. This is so crazy. Can we just have, like, some normal-ass shit happen for once
Apparently
ever,
not.
please? Alright, so, now, I should say, now let's get into the parts that are speculation, insofar as we can do any speculation at this moment, and I'll make some predictions for you in a second, but, of course, Occam's razor here, this does not take a genius to point out, right? This is the most obvious thing in the world, but Occam's razor is obviously this is somebody who is super anti-Trump, and I already see speculation on Twitter that this person was like an Antifa member, and I already see a name floating around, but it's not
They
verified
will always say it's Antifa. Oh my god, that shouldn't even be fucking taken seriously or listened to.
yet by any like legitimate outlets. So I wouldn't give that name because it's too speculatory at the moment to give the name. But Antifa has been floated. It's certainly possible, but not 100% yet. Again, in the fog of the moment, it's very difficult to get all the information you can. I'm sure as the hours go by and the days go by, we're going to eventually know for sure who this was who did this. We're going to know if they're tied to a group or if it's just an individual. But that is the speculation at the moment, is Antifa. Again, not verified by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll keep my eye on that. And next time I do a segment, we'll talk more specifically about who it is. We might have a name in relatively soon, let's say. In fact, by the time you're watching this, it might be out. I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, even the name that the media gives, take that with a total grain of salt. Like, seriously. Like, I already threw out the name, but that's just, I'm just doing what reading what the media is saying. And as we see, like, with the crumbling of our democracy and our system is bought and paid for, we know that the media has biases. Like, it's not just an observation at this point. It's filling in the blanks of what they want.
So there's that. Now, in terms of predictions, and by the way, I'll play this for you again as I continue to talk. You can see the event happening if it works. There we go. Okay. I'll go back to the beginning. You can see it again.
You see something that said,
so,
take a look at what happened.
There it is again. Okay. So my predictions, look, right off the bat, this is like this is a rock solid prediction right here. There will be conspiracies galore, bro. I'm talking
The left, the liberals,
78 conspiracies
already being blamed for this.
before frickin' Monday.
Like,
right?
it's
Before Monday,
intuitive
we're gonna get
that
78
it
conspiracies.
would be
I have
like a
no doubt
leftist
about that.
or a
The
liberal or
conspiracies
something.
are gonna ramp up colossally. The
Just
conspiracy, it's gonna be, I'm sure it's gonna be like,
oppositionally
Joe Biden
speaking.
did it. Somebody tweeted like, "Oh, I see Joe Biden took that Supreme Court ruling on immunity to heart." So I'm sure people are going to blame Biden. I'm sure the deep state is going to be blamed. It's going to be, forget it, they might blame China, whatever. Like, I'm sure there's going to be
No, I didn't think of
conspiracies
China,
galore.
honestly.
100% guaranteed. In fact, I'm already starting to see some floating around. Okay. The other thing is, I think that this is going to lead to mainstream media going way, way easier on Trump. I think it's going to lead to mainstream media honestly thinking like, damn, maybe we contributed to this because we're so hard on him, and maybe we shouldn't go as hard on him because we don't want people to misinterpret our rhetoric and think we want people to do violence against him. So there's definitely going to be conspiracies. Mainstream media is going to go, I think, easier on Trump now. And then here's another prediction for you. I think he's going to shoot up in the polls big time, right? I mean, again, it seems like...
So, like I said, Trump was already more, like, inspirational. He was more... He had more banter. He could talk better for the most part. Like, he was fiery. Way more than Biden. Biden was never going to win, even though both are pretty much in their geriatric position to work forever. Yeah, the media could go easy on Trump, to be fair. And honestly, that won't stop Trump from being more radicalized and hating the media. Like, no matter what the media says, I think, even when Biden was doing the anti-immigration thing and helping Title 42, there were still people saying, like, oh, like, we're not going to work with the Democrats on this. Like, so it doesn't really matter what the fuck the Democrats or Biden does. Like, they could do and walk the same steps, and, like, it would be like, nope, not good enough, we don't want you, you're different somehow. So, yeah. Definitely going to be more radicalized, no matter what the media does.
It seems like a slimy thing to do to have the conversation at this moment about electoral politics, but we already know he's fine. They grazed his ear. He's okay. He says he's fine, right? But I can't help but bring that point up. He's going to...
So I think it would be good for the media to go light on Trump and to not be so like division based, especially especially when there's going to be like those Civil War conservative types that are going to be like, this is where we rise up and where violence actually starts like peaking again. And we might see more rallies get shot up, more things politically in the name of being shot up, like more than usual. There's domestic terrorism all happening all the time, school shootings. So, I mean, it'll honestly just be just a drop in the bucket, to be fair, which sounds really cynical, but like I don't know, like that's just it. Really, just I can't unsee it.
Gonna shoot up in the polls massively. And the other thing is, like, Biden's gonna either have to come out and give a speech about this. What the hell is he gonna say about it, right? Or is he just gonna release a statement? How is Biden's cognitive abilities going to be when he comes out and gives a speech about it or makes some comment about it? But I can't see. I mean, look, bro, I'm going to show you this one more time. You're telling me an alleged attempted assassination, and this picture comes out of it, this picture, and you think he's not going to shoot up in the polls, bro? You think he's not going to shoot up in the polls? Again,
So the people who like him will already extra like him. The people who don't won't. But the moderates, the people who aren't voting, I hear, might actually see this as a sign of bravery, because they might think like they might not understand political violence, whether or not it's justified, besides the optics, besides the social unravel, like the complexity of why you do violence and why you don't. I would say this is not a good time to do violence, and justifying it, especially when everybody is justifying their own violence for the conservative civil war at this point. Like, we've seen, like, Tim Pool constantly say shit like this.
Weird having that conversation on the day that this fucking shit happens. I understand that. It feels kind of gross. It feels kind of slimy. But you think he's not going up in the polls? Look at this picture. Look at this picture, homie. Look at this picture. So there are my predictions. There's going to be conspiracies galore. And by the way, just for the record, I'm not saying that what actually happened here wasn't a conspiracy, right? It's possible what ended up happening here was a conspiracy, and we'll know in time just how deep was the conspiracy. That's very possible. But it's also possible Occam's razor is correct and the most straightforward interpretation is correct, and it's possible it was some lone asshole who's just massively anti-Trump, and this is what he did. Like, there's all different possibilities on the table right now, just to be clear. But even if the conspiracy is true, there's going to be like 843 of them that are not true. And that's my prediction. A lot of conspiracies. I think mainstream media is going to go way easier on Trump now, and I think Trump is going to shoot up in the polls massively. But yet again, man, another freaking absolutely historic day. I just want everybody to fucking chill, bro. Why can't we live in a normal country, dog? Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. This is insane. This is insane. We witness history so goddamn often. I've had enough. Can we press pause on this bitch? Better yet, try the reset button. Have you tried the reset button? Have you tried to blow in the cartridge like it's a fucking Super Nintendo game?
I don't think so.
Can we do something to try to get on a more reasonable timeline? Because this shit, I can't deal with this shit anymore, bro. I'm out having a good day with the family. The little man had a golf event. We were watching that. Crystal was at the pool, right?
So I'm pretty sure it's just a lone wolf situation, just typical domestic political violence. So if it is like some like hired by someone bigger, like a market, or say it was like the Biden administration that hired, which I really doubt it. I don't really think anything would come of it. There would just be more political division because, the Chevron thing has been overturned, and so I'm pretty sure markets could do whatever they want since they have no regulation to them. And the Biden administration, if Biden took responsibility for it, has political immunity to do it. Now, I've heard people in real life say, oh, the Democrats probably did this, but it's like, okay. But they didn't really be nuanced about it. Like, they weren't talking about the Chevron overturn and the political immunity. So, I think that's a lost opportunity, especially when it's just like people literally just trying to be conspiracy theorists. It's insane. So people will bring up, oh, the Democrats did it, but it's like, are they going to be more nuanced about why they think that? Apparently not. Alright, guys. I'll see you in the next one.